the UFC getting into BJJ, some people might say that you guys copy Craig Jones's The Pit.
First of all, oh yeah, we have a ball, not a pit.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Oh, okay, good.
Craig talking so much crap like he does, it definitely gives us more publicity. So he's helping us at the same time, I guess. Craig, don't come after me. I'm at peace. White flag. I don't have beef with him. I'm not UFC.
Why not gi? Why not introduce more gi grappling instead of no gi?
We're already in that problem with no gi people watching us. I'm a gi person. I'm legally allowed to say this. You can't hate on me. I did this 24 years.
Oh, it's 15-time world champion, Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the MIGHTYCAST.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the MIGHTYCAST is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game you can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. All you gotta do is go to your app store on your phone, download PrizePicks. When you do that, use my promo code MIGHTYCAST. Cool promotion going on right now. You go around there, look at the event board, you make your picks, whether it's in mixed martial arts, NBA, NFL. Don't worry, those two sports will be back soon. They have NHL, they have Rainbow Six, Valorant, CSGO, you name it, they got it. No matter what happens in those events, you're going to win $50 to new signups. Now, guys, get in the game, make the picks at the right place, which is PrizePicks. Now, shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode of the MIGHTYCAST. Now, let us enjoy this chat with Darth Rigatoni, Mikey Musumeci. Enjoy. What's going on, guys? We are here in Las Vegas at one of my favorite restaurants, SUSHISAMBA. It is a Japanese, Brazilian, Peruvian cuisine. Now, it's located here in the Palazzo. Fresh Japanese cuisine. Brazilian is absolutely delicious, and the Peruvian dishes are amazing as well. If you guys are looking for a place to dine out at, make sure you check out SUSHISAMBA. Shout out to SUSHISAMBA for allowing us to host the MIGHTYCAST here in Las Vegas. Now, let us get to our guest, Mikey Musumeci. I'm a nerd, but I just feel it's a lot harder. Like you can have a think
for
about
me,
it.
it's harder. No gi is harder for me than gi.
Yeah.
But I understand for the regular person, gi is way harder. So many different puzzles, so many different variables.
Exactly, right? But at the same time, I would say this, when I talk to, we're live, by the way. So one of the things that when I watch you grapple, and I've grappled against you.
Oh,
you're fine. Yeah. When I watch you grapple, you love the fucking ankle locks. You love, like, me and my wife are in bed watching you tear somebody's career away by tacking it, heel hook, ankle lock, ACL, MCL, PCL. You will do that. And one of the things that I love that Cobrinha said was like, Mikey, stay on top.
yeah.
You have beautiful jiu-jitsu. Your guard passing is good. Taking it back, force him to turtle, go armbar. It's almost like you neglect, I feel like 85% of your the skill set you have, because when we go, you pass my guard. I'm like, no,
I pass everyone's guard. Like, my passing's honestly as good as my leg locks, if not better.
Yeah, and then
I pass the guard twice.
Yeah, and then you jump back to the fucking legs.
What happens to me is, I don't know if you realize, when I compete, I'm super, I just am so uncomfortable when I'm competing that I just want to feel that I'm winning. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, win rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The second I won rounds 1 and 2, I submitted him like the first 20 seconds of the third round, because I'm like, all right, I already won.
So where does that come from, though? Because you've been competing your whole entire life.
Even in IBJJF, I've always been like that. Like, I always have to feel like I'm winning. And the only time you'll see me just fight is when I'm ahead on the score and I am free to fight.
Yeah.
Or if I'm losing.
But where does that come from?
Just being uncomfortable. Like that feeling of uncomfortable. And in training, I always just train like that, because I don't care. Like, I'm just free. I don't have to think in my mind, oh, what if I give this scenario where he's gonna score?
Gotcha.
Which makes it really difficult to actually win a round with me. But it's annoying because I definitely could have finished a match significantly faster. I will say that in the beginning of this match, I had him in a really tight inside heel hook.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like Verison. I didn't want to break his leg.
Yeah.
Like, I really had a hard time with the Mongolian guy after that, like, in my mind.
You destroyed his fight. We've never seen him. For guys, if you guys don't know who he's talking about, Mikey used to compete at one championship, phenomenal grappler, and he fought a guy, a Mongolian guy, and he tore his shit to pieces. Like, you said, how many pops did you hear?
It was like 1,000 pops, dude. Every part of his leg. They said it was a catastrophic motorcycle accident after. They were like shocked how many things in his leg were gone.
Yeah, his leg was just destroyed. destroyed. And I never forget coming back to the hotel because I think I did I commentated that fight.
Yes, you were there.
I was there, and I was like, Mikey's going to destroy this guy's whole entire leg. And Mikey was in the hotel lobby, sitting there, truly concerned about him. And then we came back, and Matt goes, yeah, his whole knee's gone. His whole knee gone. And I go,
Shashi messaged me, it's a catastrophic motorcycle accident. The doctors in Thailand were like shocked. They're like, this is insane.
Yeah, and then I told everybody, I was like, you'll never see that guy ever fight again because you basically told, but here's the thing. Here's the devil's advocate. He could have tapped. He could have just went, that's when we grapple, you jump my legs, I'm done. Because I'm not playing that foot lock, ankle lock game with you because you're just way better at it.
But I also don't ever explode. Like, I'll never do a submission, like a joint submission in training. Even in competing, I don't like to. Like a Toquinho old school.
Yeah.
I don't have that explosive bridge.
You said that.
I think I'm capable of doing it, but mentally I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like that's horrible. So I got to the point where I'm fully extending the inside heel hook. And I know that if I just explosively bridge, like, his career is kind of in trouble. Like, ACL surgery, MCL. 6 months, a year, he can't work or make money. Yep. Like, why am I going to do that to this guy?
So do you think they should...
So I did 30% extension. I know I put some pressure on his knee. I hurt his knee a little bit. I definitely popped his knee, that scenario. Yeah. But I just got concerned. I did not want to hurt him. So in my brain, I just, like, catch, release, and then I moved on to another attack. Yep. I think I passed twice and made him turtle, but then I'm a bitch, so I just went back to bottom.
You went for I
could have went to guillotine. I have so many cool things I do there, and just I think just the pressure and nerves just make me frozen sometimes. But I had the same problem in one, and that's why Shachi had me go to all the events with him, and like it got me like used to it. So I was just in a new environment.
Of course. Well, even when you fought your first time at fighting for the UFC Invitational.
Oh, super slow.
Super slow. You're going, but you also were battling something. I mean, you said
I have 3 ulcers.
Yeah, 3 ulcers.
I still haven't gone away. Like, I'm still battling that.
That's because you don't stop training.
The stress. The training, but also the stress. Like, this was stress and pressure for me that I've never experienced, you know? It's not natural for me, this stress and pressure. Yeah. So I always have to like adapt my homeostasis, and I do a good job at it. Like I survive, but I feel like I'm dying a lot. It just, but it's taking a toll on my body right now.
When are you gonna take time just to relax? When are you gonna go on vacation with your girlfriend? You got a girlfriend now. I saw you guys making out on the way out from. You're like, yeah, girl, you like that fucking tourist shit. Okay, when are you gonna take time, go on a vacation? I'll be back to grappling in 2 to 3 weeks. Just go on vacation.
I'm supposed to go to Hawaii next week.
Okay, and how long are you be out there for?
Like 3 weeks. Literally what you just said. I think that's the play.
And how much grappling are you gonna do when you're out there?
Every day, probably.
Why are you gonna do that?
It's just I enjoy it. I love jiu-jitsu.
I know, but sometimes you gotta remove yourself. I mean,
I'm better at jiu-jitsu when I'm like that.
Yeah, but
Thailand was the best thing for me because it was so much more chill and like that sabai culture, like the Rating vibe, where they don't even train. Like,
yeah, that's chill.
Yeah, that vibe is honestly the best vibe for me. That's why I think I just got better when I lived in Thailand.
Yeah. See, if you want to grapple, just grapple with her in the bed and do all that stuff, and then just sit back because I feel. You've had this time and time, like you train so hard, right? Yeah. You train so hard, and then your body gets broken down, and then when it comes to competition, you're just worn down, and then when you compete, I was
so worn down. But it felt like I was like flow rolling. Like it's like I felt like when I was competing with Rarison that I was training with a friend that's visiting the gym, and you're having like a nice flow roll with him. I wasn't changing speeds. I was like really not moving like I usually do. Yeah. But I watched and then I was like upset. I'm like, fuck, that I fight like shit right now. Then I watched. I was like, okay, my transitions were at least cool. Yeah. Like it looked like I was like doing like good drills, like good movements.
Your movement was great.
Yeah. But it's just so much diminished compared to how I am in training, and that pisses me off. Then I'm like, I'm a bitch. Fuck.
It's not that. I think like I said.
But again, the last 30 seconds of the third round, 30 seconds in, I submitted him. That was more me. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, I won already, and I just submit.
Well, I know the real you. I've trained with you, and I've seen you. Like I said, a lot of people don't. This is one thing I will say that's we got a lot to cover. But this is one thing I will say that I can appreciate that the UFC is giving.
Does this have caffeine in it?
Yes, it does.
Amazing.
Yeah, go ahead. Lock it up, baby.
Guys, just so you know, oh God, sorry.
Look at that. Yeah.
I'm already creating messes.
Shout out to First Form for keeping our man Mikey, caffeinated up with that screaming freedom. Yeah, baby, come on in.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
The one thing I will say is that, okay, when people watch, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they don't know what's going on, right? Especially in Nogi, they don't know what's going on. But in Nogi, they kind of understand what's going on. So when you're attacking people's legs and you're attacking it, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm like me and we're like, oh.
Yeah, but then they think I'm just hugging a leg. They're like, what the fuck is this?
I know.
It's really gay.
Well, I don't want to say that. I understand what's going on, and then I've seen you tear people's knees apart, right?
I feel like I'm the equivalent of a Muay Thai fighter. This is what I always say because I love watching Muay Thai in Thailand. I think it's the coolest thing ever. The guys that throw a lot of kicks, like a super leg.
Yep.
He just chops some Taiwan Chai. They
Yep.
just kill the legs.
Yep.
So in my mind, I'm just slowly injured. I don't think I'm even going to submit the person in my brain. I'm never like, okay, I have it. It's done. In my brain, I'm just thinking, all right, I'm just chopping the legs, making them more and more less athletic.
Yep.
And then we can move on to the choke or whatever. Problem is, sometimes I get too fixated on that, and I'll just damage the legs and not move on.
Yep.
And then it's like, what the fuck, Mikey? Why are you not moving on?
That's why I thought it was great that Cobrinha was in your corner, because I don't think you have anybody else around you.
I told them both. I told Durinho and Cobrinha, be mean to me.
Yeah. Well, not me, but just...
I need that though. I'm not. You can't just be like, good job, Mikey. You have to be like, Mikey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Change it.
Yeah.
Like, I need that little kid energy, like yelling at your little kid that's like doing something wrong, like that.
Yeah.
That's what gets me to move. And I respect Cobrinha and Durinho so much that when they tell me something, I definitely register it.
Thank you, baby.
You know, like when you, like Matt Hume, for example, he's a genius.
Yes.
So when he told you stuff when you're fighting, right? Like you could blindly just listen and you know that you're going to do something. It's not bad what he's saying.
Yeah. And
but how many people can you actually blindly listen to when they tell you things in a fight, in that situation?
About 3.
But it's a tiny list.
Yeah, tiny list, like James, my wife, maybe, and Tony and Matt. That's about it.
Because you know what they're saying, it will not lead to bad stuff.
Exactly. But get back to on track with the UFC getting into BJJ, and it gives the opportunity on that platform. I think there was like 75,000 viewers live when you're competing. Like while I was watching on YouTube, and it's given the opportunity to show the everyday person who watches it, like
it was 2.5 million views through all the platforms that
all
they
platforms,
had.
right?
2.5 million.
That's crazy. So you get 2.5 million people exposed to it, where they're like, when they watch UFC and somebody gets taken down and they're like, oh, boo, boo. Yeah. And it's like, this is what happens when you have one of the best in the world jump on your ankle. Like, lit Mikey on your ankle for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a normal person, he tears everything, try to go to the bathroom and walk. That's one thing I love about them getting behind it, because the platform is just massive.
It's insane.
It's absolutely massive. And you have the everyday casual who are not introduced into BJJ. They're not into it. Like my buddy he's watched me grapple, but he's never seen me grapple before. And he goes, why is homeboy attacking homeboy's ankle? I was like, he's trying to tear his ACL. He played football. And he goes, he's trying to tear what? I was like, his ACL. He goes, is that fucking legal? I was like, yeah. And in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he goes, I'm gonna let him on my,
because they don't realize how violent it is. They really don't. I got shit from this from like Craig. He was just messing with me.
Yeah.
But he was like pissed that I said, and everyone got pissed that I said, oh, limbs could fall off.
Yeah.
Does the limb actually come off the body?
No.
Will the skin rip and the limb amputates off? No. But parts of the limb start falling off.
Technically, yes, it detaches from the bone, essentially, right? It detaches from ACL.
Was it extreme how I said it? Yes. But was I just trying to appeal to the MMA audience so they just understand what's happening?
Yeah,
so they need that like language, that like basic language of like, he's trying to break something.
Yeah.
He's trying to choke him and that could kill him.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. If I don't,
obviously, jiu-jitsu people, we're like, no, the arm's not gonna come off.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You're catering to the everyday audience.
A different segment, right?
A different segment.
And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
Because we already have our jiu-jitsu people. We're all addicted. We love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Now we're just trying to get more people into it.
Yep. And I think that's the best thing that they're doing with the platform they have, because they have the everyday person who watches MMA, who fights and kicks and all that stuff. And they're not, each time you see somebody go to the ground during a UFC event, 9 out of 10 times they're always booing, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's good for UFC getting into it. Now let's talk about this belt. I want to talk about the whole thing. What came of you getting behind the UFC BJJ, right? Like you did the show.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh my God. So the show was amazing. First of all, a lot happened, right? From when we talked before I was supposed to fight Cade, right?
Yep.
We won championship. Then I had that lung problem where my lung almost ripped. If I would have done that match, I probably would have died. My lung would have collapsed, which is such a crazy thing to happen.
Yep.
I Nino medium stitum, I think it's called. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I'll probably get hate for how I just said that.
No, you know what? I get hate all the fucking time.
Whatever we say, we're gonna hate.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I had Nino medium stitum. Then I got hospitalized, and I had a long talk with Shatri, who was basically my parent when I was living in Asia.
Yep.
And I was really close to him, and I thought it was better that I just stayed back in the U.S. at home with my family, because I was in Asia for 3 years.
Yep.
So we mutually just agreed, and he just wanted the best for me, you know.
Yep.
So I was really grateful for how much Shatri helped me. And my parents live like 15 minutes from UFC PI.
Oh, yeah, Los Angeles.
15, 20 minutes. So it's right by my house, right? So then I met with Hunter, Claudia, and Techi, the guys from UFC, the people, and we made a plan, like, how can we grow this sport the most, you know? So I got behind this plan for them, that they were going to have divisions. We're going to have this Ultimate Fighter. We were going to do drug testing. Everything that I wanted for our sport to grow, you know? And basically what Shachi was doing with one, like what we started with one, you know? And that's what I was so behind with one, like the drug testing, legitimate divisions, professional fights, not just amateur competitions, which are great. They build athletes, and we need those. So I'm not speaking bad about them, but I think that us having these professional things is what we need for grappling to actually become a professional thing, where people like your children could do that, right? Like, wouldn't you want them to do that more than MMA probably? You don't get hit by you had no brain damage, so you're the only person I can't ask this to. Your brain got better after doing MMA.
That is true.
But who could say that?
Not many.
I just realized when I said that to you, I'm like, wait, this is the person I'm talking to right now. His brain got better after he did MMA. No, that doesn't happen to anyone.
I'd rather them play, if they're going to do a sport, I'd rather, and be a professional, I'd rather do like football, basketball, baseball.
Way more money in that
Way
too.
more money in it, right? And it's, you know, MMA and jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's tough. Okay, you know.
Well, I'm just saying, jiu-jitsu, at least there's no brain damage at all. So if, like, for example, when I'm a parent with kids, I would not, if my kid wants to do MMA, I'd be like, fuck no, you know what I mean? Like, of course, with your technique and speed and like how insane you place your body, how you never get hit, that's one thing. But then how can you bank on your kid having that same speed and ability to never get, like, I would just be horrified. I would just be like, do jiu-jitsu.
Well, I think the biggest thing too.
I'm getting more energy now, guys. I had caffeine.
He's off.
I only had 2 hours of sleep last night. So my ADHD is a little more mellow right now. But as I drink this caffeine, like, I'm getting better. Like, I'm going to be a little more hyper soon.
Coco's gonna be driving home. He goes, Mikey, you gotta calm down. He goes, give me more caffeine now. Fucking tear your leg now. What's going on, guys? This episode of the MIGHTYCAST is sponsored by True Classic. It is one of my favorite staples in my wardrobe. The clothing is very, very buttery soft. It fits right out of the package, and it makes shopping that much easier for you guys and myself. I don't have time to go to the store and buy high premium clothing. So what I do is I go to trueclassic.com and they ship it directly to my front doorstep. Now, right now I'm rocking the polo. Typically I'm rocking just a basic t-shirt, whether it's white, black, or gray, with the Rolex and the gold chain. It's very classic and it's very Vogue, and you can go anywhere with it. So if you guys want to upgrade your wardrobe, go to trueclassic.com/mighty, and that's going to help you save when you complete order. And guys, it is the summertime. Don't be wearing the old crusty shirts you've been hanging on to all winter. Upgrade yourself. You deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to trueclassic.com/mighty to upgrade your wardrobe and get some buttery soft clothing on that body, because you deserve it, and you guys know damn well I deserve it. Shout out to True Classic for sponsoring this episode of the MIGHTYCAST. Now, let us get back to the chat with Darth Rigatoni, Mikey Musumeci. You know, I think
we trained this morning too. Me and Coco trained 2 hours this morning.
Can you tell him to fucking stop training?
Coco, first of all, Coco is my best friend. He lives in Japan, and he's competing tomorrow in American Nationals.
Oh, are you?
So he
Nogi or gi?
Of course.
Wait, what the fuck's up with you Nogi boys, man? When you guys gonna put the gi on and start whooping ass in the gi?
First of all, Mighty Mouse, if he did no gi with us, he would beat like a lot of the people I compete with. He's really high level no gi. Gi just takes longer for you to develop your game because it's just a different skill than what he's used to, right? But I would like you to compete more, Nogi.
Nah.
A lot of guys I fight, like you're like fuck up.
I don't want to start attacking people's legs. I'm 38 years old, be 39. I got time to get my
good though. Like your body, you have the perfect body type for defending leg locks.
I don't want to defend a fucking leg lock. That's the problem. Like when people jump in my legs, I'm like.
But my friend Coco's competing tomorrow, and he helped me. So every tournament, you're always with us. You see, Coco's always with me.
Yeah, always with you guys.
Like, he's literally the person that's with me every competition. He's my best friend, and he helped me so much for this competition. He came all the way from Japan here. Yeah. So he's competing in American Nationals tomorrow. So I only got 2 hours of sleep. I woke up. I'm like, I'm here for you. Let's work.
Yeah.
So
well, good luck, Coco. I know you're gonna kill it out there. So, okay, let's get back on track. So when you talk,
I give Coco some love while we were talking. Now we can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. I got love for Coco. He passes my guard. He's hard. I had to start punching him in his stomach to open his fucking guard.
You gotta slap him sometimes.
No, I don't slap him. I just push hard in his stomach. He goes, "Oh, that hurts. That hurts." I'm like, open a fucking guard. Okay, now let's talk about this. Now, a lot of people say, you know, what UFC is doing isn't growing the sport of mixed martial arts because...
Why do we get so much hate, dude?
I think it's because of the non-exclusive contracts. People, they want non-exclusive. A lot of people, I think the reason why people are hating on it, and I'm going to give my piece on it, and I want to hear you speak about it.
Yes, I have a cool insight.
They don't like that now, if you sign with the UFC BJJ, you cannot do any other grappling tournaments, which is BJJ Stars, Who's Number One, CJI, ADCC. And for me...
But you know, IBJJF was at this event. I think they might be signing with UFC soon.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which means that IBJJF will be clear for people in UFC.
Yeah, but a lot
Polaris, Karate Combat, these all UFC Fight Pass things.
Yeah, but I also feel that an athlete has a choice.
Yeah.
An athlete has a choice to say, okay, hey, even for me, when I fought in WEC, before I jumped into WEC, this was back in 2000, I think.
I grew up watching you in WEC.
Boy. So when I had the opportunity, I could have went to Shuto. I could have went to Japan to fight. I could have done other organizations. The reason why I did it is because they weren't paying anything. They weren't paying anything. The only place I was paying was WEC. So I signed with WEC. I signed an exclusive contract to fight there, right? I fought there, UFC bought there, worked my way up, made six figures. The history, you know, that's the history of it, right? So now when I look at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I looked before we started this interview, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been around since 1998. That was our very first ADCC. Google could get...
IBJJF Worlds was 1996, I think.
1996. That's IBJJF, right?
Yeah. ADCC 98.
98, right? Yeah. That's the very first time. Jiu-Jitsu has been around for a very, very long time. There's been different places have tried to get to a point where they can actually keep on doing event after event after event and paying the athletes, right?
And they all go bankrupt.
Yep. This is the first time that I know in history that a company like UFC is coming behind it and one championship as well. One championship behind
and that's
it too.
why one deserves so much recognition too.
They were the first. They were the first.
Chachi was the first one that even give people good money and pay consistently.
Consistently, right? Now you have another player in the game, which is UFC,
which is great for the market having multiple players.
Yes, but this is what happens. At one point in time, one championship did have exclusive contracts.
Yep.
You could not go grapple here and here and here, right? Now, from what I heard, you know, Tom DeBlassie says they dropped that. Now
the rule at one is if you don't have the belt. I had the belt, so I couldn't do this.
Exactly.
But if you don't have the belt, you're able to compete in other organizations.
Yeah.
Just when you get the belt, you're exclusive.
Yeah, right. So there's an exclusive part there. Now in UFC, if you sign with the UFC, it's exclusive. Now an athlete has a choice. I'm grappling at the UFC. UFC goes, hey, if you compete with us, you have to sign this exclusive contract. We're going to pay you 10 and 10, whatever it is. I don't know what the pay is. You can't grapple anywhere else. I have the choice to say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I'm going to wait for CJI. I'm going to wait for ADCC. And when I compete for CJI, I might get 5,000. I might get 6,000. It's one time a year. I can't do it. You know, I'd rather have like Andrew Tackett. He was like, you know what? I'm going to go with UFC BJJ. He won a championship. He's the first ever welterweight. Welterweight champion. Yep. He made that choice. Right? And I feel
he's incredible, by the way.
He's fucking
I've been hanging out a lot with him in Vegas. He's awesome.
How's that grappling match go between you two?
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's scary.
I know he's bigger than you, but
no, he also he trains really nice. Like he does it, like a lot of those people I'm scared to train with that size.
Yeah.
You know, because they could be so brute, and he trains nice. He moves. He's so technical. Like he's safe.
Yeah.
He's a safe bigger guy for me.
Yeah. And I feel when it comes to a point, like an athlete has a choice. And so I think if an athlete wants to sign an exclusive contract, and for you always been outspoken about, I want clean drug testing.
Yep.
When the other competition, they say they don't, obviously 1A drug test, but you look at the other competition, they say do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. So it's like I have this struggle, and me and Michael were talking about, it's like the sport's been around forever. Now that somebody's coming into the play and given exclusive contracts that you guys have the option to sign or don't sign, you guys are getting a lot of hate for that.
Yeah.
And so what's your feedback? Because I would love to give Craig Jones the opportunity to tell me why it's bad for the sport. For me, I'm like, dude, you can wait around for 5 to 6 to 8 to 10 years and never have a company come in. It's always non-exclusive. You have these guys going around fighting everywhere.
You have these random events that have money randomly with an investor, and then they lose all their money. Yeah. Then it goes on to the next one.
Then it goes on to the next one. It goes to the next one. And
is that good for our sport?
I don't know, because I truly talked to somebody.
But isn't that selfish though? Because people then could just make money in the short run, but then that for next generations, they don't have that stability of an organization that could actually make them have money.
Yeah,
that's why I love this.
Yeah, but here's the question. Does the short stability, so you said, does that person who does a short stability, do they actually make money? Well, if history repeats itself, they typically lose money, because that's why they don't keep on doing it, right?
I agree.
Right, and so for me,
no, but I'm trying to give them some wiggle room of their logic. Now.
I agree with you.
I completely am against that logic. I think that obviously I'm against that logic, but I'm just trying to be on that side a little bit, like to understand what they're saying. So maybe they can make a quick couple thousand in one of these tournaments that goes out bankrupt quickly, and move on to the next one.
Yes.
And then they have to just bank on them popping up over and over and over.
Well, it's funny you say that, because before we jumped on the show, I had a conversation with somebody who's been part of the sport as a competitor. He has his own brand that he supports a lot of athletes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in gi and no-gi, and he said that it's very interesting that you bring this up, because what you just said about, you have a rich guy who comes into the sport and he goes, I'm going to pump all this in. He does 2 or 3 events. He doesn't make his money back.
He's going to lose a few million for sure.
A few million, and then he leaves, and then the sport's back to here and here. Now and he was like, dude, I'm happy that the UFC is in it, because you have a stable place where athletes, you have a stable place where athletes who come there. Yes, there's an exclusive contract in place for people, but I think in the long run, I hope it's good for the sport. So what's your piece on this? Is a long tangent run. What's your piece on when it comes to, would you like it to be non-exclusive, or you're like, hey, it is what it is. If we're gonna make this happen, we all have to be exclusive. What's your piece?
For example, one championship, they spent millions of dollars marketing and investing in me and the Rutolos, right? Like building our brands, and they did an amazing job. Like, again, I'm so grateful for what they did for my brand.
Yeah.
But why did they do that? Because we were exclusive to them.
Yep.
Why would you spend millions of dollars to build somebody's brand that's just going to go compete in a random organization that has and they get you for free?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
But this is why I'm so confused. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I get so much hate for saying that.
Yeah.
Like, what is the logic of that? Like, if I'm UFC, for example, and I'm putting millions of dollars into this project, and I probably will lose a few million. They have the money to lose, but they have to start off losing money to gain.
Yeah, that's how an investment goes.
It's a legitimate company that can lose some money and then work their way and build their product, right?
Yep.
So if they're spending millions of dollars to market and build us, I want to go do who's number one and give a random person that has no followers, maybe 5,000 followers, a chance to compete with somebody with so many followers that UFC just built up.
Yeah.
Who benefits from that?
Yeah.
Who's number one?
So then who benefits from the exclusive contracts? Like it's that's why I like this conversation, because I agree with you. If I'm going to invest, I don't know, $2 million into the MIGHTYCAST, I'm not just going to loan out my IP to anybody, right? Like, it's got to make sense for the business standpoint. So I understand the whole exclusive and non-exclusive.
Like, if there was like this, like for example, if I'm with UFC, for example, and there was somebody that had like 20 million followers and was so famous and marketable that wasn't with UFC, maybe they would let me do a match with that person, right? Because they would grow me, that UFC is not growing me, right? Like, for example, one championship, when I was with CJI, I almost did a match with Volkanovski in grappling.
I remember that,
And Shachi was okay with that because
it's
obviously Volkanovski is so famous, right? That would grow won championships brand.
Yes.
So that was a mutual fair thing in that scenario.
Yep.
But if it's one-sided where where the organization that's putting millions of dollars into you is getting slighted, where it's just gain for the other people and not for them, is that really fair for them?
Yeah.
You know, that's why I don't think that I'm really not for like this, like jumping from different organizations. Like, I think that we're better off having like what we did in MMA with exclusive. Like, and we have a major organization and we have legitimate fights, professional fights, drug testing, everything. And then also the problem with the drug testing. How are you going to, if one organization is not doing drug testing and the other one is, now you could just go to another organization, do all these steroids stuff and be like, oh, he's exclusive, he won't fight me, and talk shit like this. But the truth is, you can't come to my organization because you can't pass a drug test. Yeah.
I think what people were scared of is that it's almost like mixed martial arts all over again. Because when you look at, you know, the landscape of MMA, people were saying there's nowhere to go fight. Right? Nowhere to go fight, right? It's the UFC is the biggest player. They pay the most money, where there's other organizations. UFC in one championship.
But how much did they grow our sport, UFC?
I mean, sport's massive. I mean,
it's literally like NFL, NBA now, UFC. But back in the day, was it like that?
No, it wasn't.
So people that hate on UFC, like if you look at how much our sport's grown, it's because of UFC. Yeah. So they hate what?
No, it's true. It's like the brand is
and
so
you're a big
big.
part of that also, by the way. I'm just
no. But I mean, like they're so. It's a marketing machine. It's a marketing machine, and you want the best marketing machine to get behind a sport to grow it, right? I mean, you look at what.
How can we have a bigger marketing machine than the UFC growing grappling?
I don't know.
How can we?
You can't.
But then everyone's pissed. But the thing is, Craig and me were supposed to do Ultimate Fighter together.
Yeah, I saw he came with that.
And we were gonna fight each other at the end. And then he didn't get the deal that he wanted or whatever from UFC. Yep. And then he went with Flo. Yeah. But it was just a business thing for him. He went with where he made the most money for himself. Yeah. Just like everyone's doing. No, but good for him. He made money. Yeah. But that's what this is all coming down to. The people that are fighting like, oh, I'm for this person, I'm for this. Everyone at the end of the day is just independent, trying to make the most money for themselves. Yeah. And that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. I think it's really annoying when people come at me, pissed at me, like I'm a sellout. Yeah. Like I'm being called all these terms. I'm just trying to give us a stable platform. Yeah. Well, I think you've always got this type of hate. Even the first time we had you on the MIGHTYCAST about when you were doing all the stuff in IBJJF and then you went and did Nogi. And everyone's pissed at me for doing that. Yeah. But I keep doing that, you know, and I keep going against what everyone's doing. And I really feel like look, when people look at my career in the future, they'll look at me and be like, wow, he really was on the right track for grappling to make it the biggest it could be. Yeah. Well, and I think my feelings on that is that I feel that if you wait, right, and you wait and you're not going to sign an exclusive contract, you might miss out on an opportunity of getting that stable paycheck, right? You might see 6 events a year. Yeah. So, okay, maybe if you're on steroids, you can compete more because your body recovers. I'm not trying to compete more than 6 times a year. Yeah. My body cannot handle, like, what we're talking about, the ulcers. My body's fucked up. Yeah. So how am I going to do, like, and that's the argument that, oh, you could compete every weekend if you're not exclusive. Okay, good for you. Go on steroids, compete every weekend. Like, I can't recover that fast. But how much money would you make if Probably you compete? Not. Yeah, so that's... You're just banking on those going out of business events, and you're just trying to make random unsustainable money instead of 6 sustainable events with the money marketing machine that UFC has backing you to grow your brand. I think I've gotten like 25,000 followers in the last like 12 hours for my fight, which is pretty good. Yeah, I would say so. Like, so UFC is doing an insane job, you know, like they really are growing my brand. I just did the Ultimate Fighter. Like, I'm really grateful to them. You know, I'm grateful to Hunter, you know, and I'm just, again, I really do feel like I did the right things. Like I've been doing the right things in my career and for the future of grappling, for other people to follow me instead of just getting stuck in IBJJF or doing things where they're not making money and their people are so good. And then they just waste their time doing something where they're not making money or getting the recognition. Yeah. 5 years later, Mikey's got a fucking Ferrari. He's got a like dope ass. He goes, what's up, boys? It's Mikey Musumeci. You know, I want an exclusive way. I want an exclusive contract. Look at this fucking Bugatti. Look at all this. Drug free, abs all natural. No, I knew it. It's funny. Like I had Alex Volkanovski on here and he was talking about, you know, drugs, steroids in competition. He goes, just don't do it and have a clean playing field. So I agree with you. Like I want, and it's still insane how much hate I get for being against steroids. You know, it's just so crazy to me. Like Maybe I just, it's just, I don't understand this. I feel it's just so frustrating, you know, like, I'm against steroids. Like, how dare I be against steroids? How dare I be against a sustainable platform for people to make money, you know?
Yeah.
And then,
now you say 6 events. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
You say 6 events. 6 events of UFC BJJ?
Yes.
Or are they still going to do the invitational?
No, just UFC BJJ. It's a new product now, completely new.
Just
the last night was the start of the new product.
Gotcha.
And that's what I was waiting to do.
Yeah.
So that match in December I just did because I was going insane not competing.
Gotcha.
So I just had the lung thing.
Yep.
And I had the ulcers.
Yep.
And I just was like going crazy. I was like, I got too many canceled matches this year with one because I was supposed to fight Baby Shark like 4 times.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fight Cade, canceled. So I'm just like, I got to compete. And I just did that match with the old rules, which I thought were shitty.
Yep.
And the old setup that was shitty. And we knew that was like not the final product, right?
Yeah, yep.
So this was the start of the new product that we were working on since then.
Yeah. Well, some people might say that you guys copy Craig Jones's The Pit, the bowl.
First of all, oh yeah, we have a bowl, not a pit.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
No, for sure. Like, first of all, Craig got that from Karate Combat. Like,
it's Karate Combat. Yeah.
Like, he didn't like wake up one day, guys, we're gonna do
I fucking forgot that because Karate Combat had that, and they've done
also
grappling.
a UFC Fight Pass. No.
Yep, they've done Karate Combat has done grappling matches. I remember Craig Jones did that flying triangle off there.
Yeah.
And then he did
the one where he drank like the alcohol, right, or something. Like,
that's when he fought Gabby at CJI. That was amazing. And then now UFC has the bowl instead of the pit.
But honestly, hear me out.
Yeah. I think we're all hearing you out here, Mikey.
No, so definitely Craig had a great idea with CJI. He had a great product with what he did with the pit, with the 10-point must system, the 3 rounds.
Yep.
And when I went to UFC and we talked about the rules, I said, guys, this guy Craig, he did an amazing job with how he ran that event. It was way more exciting. I love the matches. Let's look at what is actually exciting in jiu-jitsu. What can we lead to the finishes faster?
Yep.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
I just came from one championship, and in one championship, it's about catches, submissions.
I've been outspoken. I don't like the catches.
But hear me out. I wanted a CGI with a one championship twist.
Yeah.
Obviously, positional dominance is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But with more of a base looking for submissions for the rounds.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like CGI, but more of a submission-based mindset.
Yeah.
So a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think that twist is why last night, out of 8 matches, there were 7 finishes.
Wow.
I never seen a grappling card like that. And even on the show when I was watching, all the matches, most of them were finishing. It's very hard for this format not to yield a finish. Another reason why is and that's why I love what Craig did. And he deserves recognition for that, like, because he got it from ACB. You remember ACB? I don't know if you were watching jiu-jitsu back then. Probably not.
Probably not. I've heard of ACB.
It was this Russian organization. I know for MMA they have something, but they were doing grappling back then, and they were doing the rounds, the 3 5-minute rounds.
Oh, gotcha.
Just like Craig did
in his thing.
Yeah.
And for me,
Craig took 2 good pieces from Karate Combat and the ACB and put it together in one.
Yep.
But he didn't just like it was his idea doing that.
Yeah.
But everyone is just taking good ideas from each other, right?
Yeah. Nobody has patenting, licensing is like, you can't do that. That's I already licensed that. That's my trademark.
But I'll always say Craig definitely helped us grow our sport, and I respect him so much for that.
Yeah.
Will I say that just so he doesn't murder me online? Maybe. That guy's fucking horrifying online. Craig has a surveillance camera on every human every hour, ready to just like kill you.
Yeah, I don't think he does, but I think for him,
every week I go to this place, like I get a massage, like just for like knots and stuff, because I'm always beat up my neck, my back, and it's Thai place.
Yeah.
So then Craig had someone film me going into this Thai place and posted it, like I'm getting like a happy ending or something. No, but that's what I mean. Like, it was really creepy. Like a random film, like I randomly got filmed, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like, that's what I mean. He has surveillance on us at all times.
Maybe
don't
on
mess
you,
with that guy.
Not on me. I'm in good cahoots with Craig.
I need to get massages. My neck is messed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
do you get a lot of knots?
I don't. No.
Really?
No. Well,
maybe you're inverting and stuff. I always get like these crazy ones in my traps.
Yeah.
And then it goes down like my rhomboids, and this is just messed up always.
Well, you train more than I do. Remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
I take time off.
You don't have any brain damage. You have no injuries. You're just healthy.
Yeah, I train 2 or 3 times a week in the gi, and that's it. Other than that, it's strength conditioning, swimming.
Also, like healthier things for your body.
Healthier things for our body, where you're just running your body to the dirt.
I have to start doing more of that.
Yeah, you need to.
I have enough jiu-jitsu. Now I just have to do healthy things.
Just take when you go to Hawaii, I want you to take 3 weeks off and not doing any grappling.
You have to message me every day, Mikey. Don't fucking train.
I ain't your fucking dad. I ain't doing that. I'm not. Coco, you message him, let him know that. You tell his girlfriend, relax. Let him have some time to relax. Okay, let's get back on track. Now, you just competed for UFC BJJ, first champion. When's the next time that you're going to be able to compete? Like, how are you guys going to have divisions? How many people are in your division? Like, what's the whole premise behind this? Like, are you guys going out there looking for athletes? How does that work?
Yeah, so basically, when I spoke to Hunter from UFC, we talked about all the exclusive athletes and stuff, and basically they're going to build a few divisions. They'll have a bunch of divisions. I think my division's 135. Then they have a 155, a 170, a 185 they're going to have, I think a 205 and a 220. Like, they're going to have a bunch of divisions.
Damn.
Like, I don't know exactly which ones, but don't quote me on that, but something like that.
Yeah.
And what they want to do is, again, they want to build their program, and it might take 10 years to build their program with these non-exclusive people that don't want to be a part of this. Good for them. I hope they make money. I wish the best for them. But what we're doing, we're going to make our own program, have our exclusive athletes in our world and program, and make them into stars. If you don't want to be a part of that, don't complain. That's on you. Don't complain. We have a multi-million-dollar company investing in us and helping us grow our brands. And if you are pissed at us for getting our brands being built, join the brand. That's on you. Like, literally, it's that simple. If you're not on the brand, good for you. Don't complain. Just focus on making money in your random organizations. I think that's the play. I think that's the mentality that I have. And it's like, okay, I'm not against the people that don't want to be exclusive. I hope you make money. I wish the best for you. Grow our sport in other ways.
Do you think that's going to come to a point in time where there will be no other organizations to compete with that, right? It's like almost like if you have, imagine this, like let's say you have.
But isn't that like, if that happens, doesn't that mean that UFC is giving so much money to athletes that the grapplers are just like, guys, we have to go there to make money. All the best grapplers are there.
Yeah. But what ends up happening, this is what people think might happen, right? Is that let's say they got Andrew Tackett, they get Levi Jones, they get him, for some reason they get Kay Bertolo, they get all the best grapplers in the world in the UFC, right? And let's say you guys are making 10 and 10 or whatever it is, right? And then, who's number one? BJJ Stars. Well, BJJ Stars is more gi. You have CJI, you have ADCC. Nobody else, you get Baby Shark, you get Mika Gavoa, you get all those guys on the UFC contract. Then all these other organizations, they're like, we have no good grapplers, we get no sponsors, we have no more money. We've got a business. Then when you guys are on the UFC.
Were any of those organizations making money to begin with, though?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to.
Or are they just all losing money?
I don't know. I don't know the books, right?
But what I'm saying is, like, is how grappling is right now, is it actually successful for these organizations that they're making profit and money?
That's a question we have to ask them, because I don't know.
I would argue that a majority of them are not.
Okay, so
maybe ADCC for sure, like their viewership and everything, they did a great job. But so I'm just saying, like, majority of them, I doubt are really making money. I would bet most of them are just losing monmy
Yeah. So then,
like all these organizations, like CGI and these organizations, did they make a profit from what they did, or did they lose money?
Yeah.
So my question is that success if you're just losing money and it doesn't yield money?
As an investor, I would say it's not a success, because if I loan somebody $1 million, I want at least 10%.
And does that yield any profit for you if it yielded nothing? Like,
no, I wouldn't invest my own money in that.
Yeah, like,
I wouldn't.
Maybe you got billions or trillions of dollars.
Even if
a casual million.
If I was a fan of the sport, maybe, and I have money, I just piss away.
But then you get bored and move on to something else.
Exactly. I would rather invest my money in like NVIDIA, Palantir, all that stuff, because I know I'm gonna get a return. I know I can watch it and I can see the company grow.
Absolutely.
But if these organizations go away and you guys are all in the UFC, then eventually they're like, hey, you know what? You were making 10 and 10. you're gonna start making 5 and 5. You're gonna start making 3 and 3.
Oh, they start lowballing people.
They could eventually, but then you have no other place. That's where I think everybody's afraid of.
And then it's a monopoly, and now they have full control of screwing people.
That's what I think everybody's afraid of. Because I think at one point in time, if somebody says, if the UFC was like, hey, this is what you guys are gonna get. Everybody's gonna get, 30 and 30, just like in fighting, right? You get guys coming in the UFC who are making 14 and 14.
But then you're saying it's more of like a communist setup, right? Where everyone's getting the same thing, like kind of.
No,
socialism, socialism, right?
I don't know.
I
don't want to go to those words.
I thought you already just messed up. Now they're like, Mikey doesn't understand anything.
I think that's what everybody's afraid of.
I was up 2 hours last night. Give me some slack. I'm on just caffeine and adrenaline right now.
No, I think that's what everybody's afraid of, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the exclusive, because they're saying, somebody said it's like mixed martial arts back in the day, where now you look at MMA, there's nowhere else to go compete. And if you do go somewhere else to compete, the money's not the same. They call it a monopoly. Where for me, and I talked to multiple people. I talked to one athlete, he goes, you don't have to sign that contract. He was like, he goes, I didn't have to sign the exclusive contract, but guess what? I did. Because guess what? Nobody else is paying fucking nothing. So I did it. He made a lot of money. He's out of the sport. He's retired now. And he was like, it is what it is. Like, you're still going to sign that contract. So I feel for a guy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where BJJ's been around for a very, very long time, nobody was making money.
Yeah, no one was.
And then now, from my viewpoint, you got guys like you, Andrew Tackett, whoever else is signed with UFC BJJ, an exclusive contract, meaning you can't go compete anywhere else, which means I know you don't want to go compete anywhere else because nobody else is going to do the drug testing.
Yeah.
But you're happy with that. And obviously Andrew Tackett's happy with it as well. Whereas a lot of people out there are saying that this is going to be the downfall of BJJ because...
But isn't it the downfall just for people on steroids and they're just pissed that now they actually have to get drug tested and their whole life was just taking steroids and now they're like screwed? Their whole essence of life is screwed?
I don't know. I feel like I need to do like a Mikey versus somebody here, and I'm the mediator for the mediator, because it's like I love jiu-jitsu. I love it. It's my new passion. It's what I do now.
I don't want to sound like I'm like, this is the way and there's no other way. No, I respect the other side. And I just want everyone to make money and to be the most successful they can be in their lives. That's all I care about. And I feel like this is one option for people to do that. And I think it's a chance for maybe someone that wouldn't have that opportunity if they did the other path to get more in this path.
I think what you just said, I feel like you are like trying to be a pioneer and you've done so many different things and you're like, I feel like this is the best option. Doesn't mean it's the correct option. Just
I don't know.
You don't know. But this
and I'm not like, and I think that's what I want people to understand, that I'm not like this insane, like this is the only option. Like, I'm not that guy. Please, I'm in peace. I want you guys to make money, whatever makes you guys the most money.
Yeah, and I feel that where you're like this, because somebody might say, oh, what Mikey's doing is
selfish.
It's killing the sport and selfish. Somebody else might say what Mikey's doing is amazing.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing that he's really rallying for the drug testing, no steroids, none of this, the exclusivity, having a multi-million-dollar company.
I think parents with children would more be on my side with what I'm trying to do.
1,000%, right? So I think that's what I said. I feel you as a pioneer you feel like you're doing the right thing to grow the sport in BJJ. And there's always going to be somebody in the back end like, oh, he's fucking killing it. Yeah, he's destroying the sport. What he just did, great. Now we're all screwed. But I always say BJJ has been around for a very, very long time. And now that finally somebody, and me, Michael, would you agree with me on this? Michael, because I don't want people just getting at me. What do you think, Michael?
What are you saying? What I think about what?
About what we just talked about, goddammit. Have you not been listening to anything? Mikey, but Michael.
Okay, so you are one of pound for pound the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artists in the world. So for UFC to make an investment, use a no-brainer, right? But now this becomes, what is it going to be for people who maybe aren't literally the best? And then once it gets to a point, and this was the point DJ made that was good, is if they become a monopoly and Craig Jones is like, fuck, I can't afford CJI anymore. Then it's like, hey, we don't have as much money because now we can control the prices. That's the worry I think that people have. And I think that's a valid concern, yeah. So you should want CJI to be there because we need competition, right? Competition is how you guys get paid more. So the worst thing that could happen is Craig Jones is like, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. No investors.
You're like, Did you have money to begin with?
Was it real money?
Was it real?
That was a great counter argument.
Were these organizations just random money that they got that they just all lost money and they just gave it to the athletes, but it was just fake money? That to me does not mean like it's a successful, sustainable organization, right? So
yeah, that's a good point.
So how do we bank on that for our future of grappling? That there's just going to be more and more random ones that just keep popping up and giving money to people. I think that's dangerous for us to bank on. I'd rather us have this safe multi-million-dollar company that could build my brand and build other people's brands, right? Competing with me. I know, for example, jiu-jitsu's been around so many years, right? Since 1996, 1998, those two numbers.
When I looked on Google, yes.
Was it successful those years with athletes making money? No. We're finally in a point where we have people coming in. Yeah. So our sport has grown so much. Now let them come in and let us make money. Let us have people come in to challenge me and they could grow their brand challenging me, having rivalries, all these different things. All I know is, for example, how are you going to become a star in IBJJF if there's no big name there for you to beat?
You can't.
So you'll win Black Belt Worlds 5 or 6 times, which is one of the hardest things to do. And you're just stuck with no followers, no anything. Mm-hmm. And maybe the jiu-jitsu nerds, like the people in, will know who you are, but it's just very limited, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll say too is like, even we look at this right here, and Canelo Crawford, right? There's this title that is being presented as this is the boxing title. That's TKO. They own WWE. They own UFC. Here's this new title where this title becomes.
Oh, and by the way, people were talking shit about like how this belt was. I'm just saying it's actually really cool in person. Yeah. Like,
oh no, this. I'll be honest. This is a sick, really sick title.
Guys. So maybe the picture like threw us off a little bit, like just the picture by itself. But when you actually see the belt in person, like holy shit, this is cool. Sorry.
But no, it's my point is it's very smart for TKO that they want. Here's the one boxing title that matters. Here's the one BJJ title that matters. I think that's kind of where the monopolistic talks.
And I think that Shotzi was such an innovator with that as well, with one championship, having all the different disciplines of martial arts. Absolutely. And I think that that's so great that other organizations want to try to grow that as well. Yeah. Like growing martial arts.
Yeah. Well, I always like to have Michael come in because he is very passionate about combat sports. He's very passionate about the athletes making as much money as possible. And I always like a viewpoint. I like to sit down at a table and have that talks because it's one of the things that it's very confusing because like you said, do you wait around? And it's like I said, it's been around forever. Now that there's actually a platform that's getting behind it to give you guys, a platform to grow your brand because that's
6 events a year. That's pretty consistent.
That's consistent. And it's not like the check's going to bounce. It's not like you guys aren't
going to get paid. Drug testing for me. Thank God.
Yeah, for you. It's very, and when I hear somebody else goes, it's killing the sport. And I'm like, how though? And so when he tells me, he goes, well, you got to think about this. And then you're like, well, is that real money? Are they making money? How long are they keep foot in the bill for this? Right. So it's a very unique talk. And I wanted to talk to you about it. And I think it's cool.
It is really interesting, this talk. And again, I just want everyone to make the most money they can in our sport to grow. And I do feel like I'm on a cool path. And I'm the only person that's won the belt in Who's Number One, one championship, and UFC, which are the 3 biggest professional. And at the time, each of them were the biggest, right?
Yep.
So I'm probably the only person that could like talk about this.
The pioneer.
And I've been on that wave of us growing each professional organization, and all of them had a good job of doing that.
Yeah.
So I've been a part of this, and Flow Grappling has exclusive contracts as well. Yeah. One has exclusive as well for the champions. Yeah. So why does UFC get so much shit if all these other people are doing it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I said the exact same thing, and I said, oh, now that the UFC's in it and they have a lot of money to burn or whatever. Now everybody's making the fuss, and that's what when I was giving him more. That's why I love having him because he comes in with a viewpoint of like. He worked at ESPN for a very, very long time, loves basketball. He's
very knowledgeable.
He's very knowledgeable.
But he has passion too, yeah.
He has passion, but he has no skin in the game.
Yeah.
He comes at the angle.
Non-biased,
right? Where, for me, I want all the athletes to make as much money as possible, right? I want every organization to succeed. And I feel if this organization's got way more fucking money than this organization, hey, you know what? It is what it is. Yeah.
We just need the sport to grow.
Yes. Why not? Okay, we're gonna switch the chat. Why not Gi? Why not get behind Gi? That's where you started.
Gi's so much easier for me. If we got around Gi life, that's how you know I'm not selfish. Because I'm significantly better than the Gi. You rolling me Gi and Nogi. What would you prefer? You have to fight me in a jiu-jitsu match. Gi or Nogi, what's easier for you to do with me?
I'd rather do Nogi against you.
Right?
Yes. You locked me the fuck down. I can't do anything. You're so fucking strong. You grab my lapel. You boom. And
so if I had my way, wouldn't I be saying, "Oh, I only want to do Gi super fights," right?
But why?
That's how you know I'm not selfish, right? now.
Yes. But why not? Why not promote more? Why would you like to see Gi get to the point of Nogi, where a guy like let's see, Jalen, your training partner at
he's amazing.
Amazing.
18 years old, just won Black Belt World. Shout out,
yes.
Jalen.
Okay, let's say he keeps on winning. Perfect example. Let's say he keeps on winning black belt. He wins it 5 years in a row. Then after everything's done, he looks at his bank account and he goes, there's not six figures in
That's
it.
the problem.
Right? But why wouldn't you want to get behind Gi and be like, hey guys, like, look how fucking good this guy is in the Gi. Why not introduce more Gi grappling instead of no Gi?
I just don't know how that yields. Like, we're already in that problem with no Gi, people watching us. Gi, it's even harder. You know, like, first of all, we're in a robe.
Yep.
So
hey. Ryu and Ken wear a fucking robe.
Training in the Gi since I'm 4 years old. I'm legally allowed to say this. I have the ground to say this. I love Gi. I'm a Gi person. I identify as a Gi person still.
Oh, you know, fucking God.
When I fought Rarison yesterday and I'm fighting him, I was like, why can't this be in the Gi right now? I want a hip grip. I want to bolo him to the back. I was going double heave with the underhook.
Yeah.
If I just had a hip grip right now, I'd have the back. Like, this would be so much easier.
Yeah.
I have to freaking do all these leg locks and things. Like, But the truth is, we're already like, it's hard in Nogi for us.
Yeah.
It's just another layer. It'd be so much harder.
Yeah.
Now, is Gi more fun with the layers of it? The more complexity of it, like untangling yourself with lapels and sleeves. I think it's so much fun. Yeah. That's why I was addicted so many years.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to get people to actually do jiu-jitsu and grow, yes, they're going to have to do no Gi at this moment, unfortunately. And like, for example, someone like Jalen would have to like switch over, and he already has good no Gi, but I'm saying but he would have to like do IBJJF, get his titles, recognition, and then be like, okay, now do like Rarison just did. He beat Baby Shark in the Gi. Then he won hands. Then he came and got that title and opportunity to go to Nogi and build his brand in Nogi. And UFC did a great job building his brand as well, doing us with a show, right?
Watch, he goes, I only got 10 followers. God damn it.
Okay, I don't know how many followers he got. I don't know, guys. Now they're going to be like, Mikey's full of shit. He got no followers.
But that's the goal, though. Right? That's the goal for anybody. You get on a platform, you're hoping that you're going to get the opportunity to get.
But that's why IBJJF, ADCC, all these things are so great, because that's what's going to build them to get on these platforms.
Gotcha. But do you ever want to get to a place where you can put the same love behind Gi grappling to get it to where it is in no Gi? Because for me, obviously I'm a nerd, I enjoy watching Gi more than no Gi. Right? Like when it was the Adult Worlds, Jensen Gomez, Andy Murasaki, Tynan, watching Mayram, watching all those guys compete.
But, okay, let's talk about Andy Murasaki versus Mateus Gabriel.
Oh, yeah.
Who could watch that fight that doesn't know jiu-jitsu and understand what the hell's going on?
But see, I feel
you're a nerd though.
Yeah,
you're a jiu-jitsu nerd.
But I feel like this.
You're legally a jiu-jitsu nerd now.
Yes, but when I'm right with that. But I feel like when you talk about like anime, right? When I talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, when I talk about My Hero Academia, when I start going down the path,
I still have to watch the anime you told me to watch.
That's okay, you'll get there. But when I talk about that, if somebody's on the outside and they're like, man, I wish I was cool. I wish I knew who he was talking about. You either know, you know, right? It's like when me and him talk about, wrestling, and we talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dwayne Johnson on the bridge, and he goes, oh, just on time, it smells like a piece of trash. You either know that scene or you don't. So I feel like when you watch Gi, you either know what the fuck's going on, and if you don't, you're missing out. I feel like you're missing out. Where for me, when I was on, I was glued. Like I was driving, and I'm like this. My wife was like, can you just wait? And I was like, babe, it's like watching a live update. I want to know if Andy's going to get that title or not. And then
I love how much you love Gi now. That's so cool.
Dude, Gi's
but it's so cool for me to see that from you. Like such a legend of MMA, and now you enjoy Gi like that.
Because I feel
like how I did my whole life. Like that's literally how I was my whole life in the Gi. But that's why I could give you a different perspective, because I was like that my whole life in the Gi.
Yeah. But I hope one day, I hope one day that Jiu-Jitsu, no Gi gets so popular that people start
I
turning...
think we need the no-gi to actually get gi popular. I do think we need that.
Yeah, I hope guys who compete their whole lives in the gi, I hope if they win 2 or 3 or 4 titles, I hope when they look at their bank account that they can see 6 figures from winning world titles. Right? I hope it gets to that point.
Something interesting Hunter also said to me, he's a really smart person, obviously.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He said to me that it's going to take some time for fans to even learn what's happening in no-gi, right?
Yeah.
And it's way more simple than gi.
Yeah.
So maybe down the line, a few years from now, as we get people learning no-gi, that will get their brains capable of watching gi, you know? But I think we need this middle ground to do that.
Yeah.
I think that no-gi, the submissions are definitely easier for fans to understand, just like MMA.
Yeah.
Like the finishes are almost the same.
Yeah.
Not as cool like your freaking armbar from like when you went suplex the armbar.
Yeah.
But it's way easier for a middle ground for MMA fans. Like if you just watch highlight clips, if an MMA fan watches a highlight clip of these jiu-jitsu matches from yesterday, the 7 finishes, I bet they've seen many of those finishes before.
Yeah, and see those positions when they're watching. Maybe Marab or who else? Or let me think of another grappling ace in
Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira, like the calf slicer. How you get to there. Me, they'll see snippets of it, and that's why I think they had that
Islam.
They had that
knowledge already.
The knowledge, but you see the layovers. Like,
but UFC already created people understanding submission just because of those in MMA.
Yes, the everyday mama pops who watch, like for example, my mother-in-law, she watches PFL, One Championship.
Oh, that's so cool.
Bellator. She watches everything, right? And when she watches grappling, she goes, "Oh, I see that. That's a rear naked choke, or that's a arm triangle." So she's getting the layers. She goes, "I've seen that move before. Now I'm just watching."
But they just educated people what submissions are.
Exactly.
So MMA has done a great job at doing that.
Yep.
Now we have to do it again.
You're basically getting a snippet of in mixed martial. You're getting a snippet of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yep.
Now we're giving you the full product.
Yep.
Right, and that's where I think
that's what Royce Gracie initially did, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
introducing jiu-jitsu to the world.
And what was he in?
UFC 1.
No, he was in a fucking robe, as you would call it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gi person. I'm legally allowed to say this. You can't hate on me. I did this 24 years.
I love the fact now when I play Street Fighter, like fucking Mikey said, Ryu, Ken, and Akuma in a fucking robe. That's a kimono. That is a gi.
Kimono.
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 Yeah. So I mean, what's next for you, man? I know you're going to Hawaii. You're going to do all that. Like, will we ever see you? Well, I mean, obviously, your next match will be defending the world title in UFC BJJ.
Yeah. So definitely just work on my health. Less cortisol for like a few weeks. Like I've had way too much cortisol. Thankfully, the match yesterday, I'm literally not sore or anything. Like I just feel like I trained a normal day.
Yep.
Just get some sleep for sure. And get back from Hawaii. Maybe I'll compete in October next. Take a few months off. I think will be good for me. Just so I'm not rushing. Like I have no rush. Like I just want to like have quality more performances. You know.
Yeah.
Like I can't just keep rushing to compete. I don't think I need to right now.
Yeah.
Compete again in October, and just keep growing our program. We just did UFC BJJ 1. Definitely was a success. You know,
I would say so. Yeah, I enjoyed it. The wife enjoyed it. Like,
I think the format is a success, but also one thing cool about the bowl that we have, Pit Bowl. I'm legally allowed to say anything I want. Yeah. I'm not UFC. I can't get sued.
Yeah.
The walls, they changed and made more slanted, more like a skate park. So what's cool about this is, like, let's say you have a double leg or something and you run up, you slip and you just fall.
So the guy who's running double leg, he'll slip and fall, and then this sprawl can happen.
And if you're on the wall itself, on the side, it's like this, you could do jiu-jitsu on it. And it's really interesting, like, to like pass someone on that. Or if you're playing guard on it to sweep someone, their balance is off. Yeah. So it's actually a different layer than the Pit has. So it is a little different, which I said, the Pit, Craig brought the Pit.
From Karate Combat.
Yep. So Karate Combat, there's probably a Pit before Karate Combat. Everyone just, but we all copy each other.
You know where this came from? I'm going to tell you where the Pit came from.
Where'd it come from?
Bloodsport.
Really?
Yes.
Like back in the day.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Have you seen that movie?
No, that's old school
It's
though.
old school. It's old school. I feel like they find the Pit, or was this just a flat? I think it might just be a flat. Baby, can you Google that? Google Bloodsport, you know, or it was a kick. I don't think it was kickboxer. They're in the ring. But I think I'm excited to see where this goes, to see if it does elevate the sport of jiu-jitsu. Do we see more athletes go the more exclusive way, or do they say, no, I'm going to stay non-exclusive and go around and compete everywhere else?
All I know is the path of jiu-jitsu right now, without these professional organizations, it's just everyone taking PEDs every second and it being supported by everyone next to each other.
Yeah.
You know, so this is my only chance for us to actually change this, which Shachi was doing too.
Yeah.
Shachi, again, deserves a lot of recognition. He was the first guy trying to have all the different martial arts.
Yes.
The drug testing, professionalizing jiu-jitsu, creating legitimate money for jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
So he deserves a lot of recognition for this.
Yeah.
And he created this, now that competition of UFC coming in and also doing that.
Yep. And here's the thing too. I want to just switch gears. Talk to me about Cobrinha.
Okay.
I've had the opportunity to grapple this man.
What a genius.
The first time I grappled him, I was like, okay, I didn't know who he was, right? That's why I love about jiu-jitsu.
When you were at FTCC, you didn't
FTCC, I didn't know who he was.
You didn't know who he was.
Didn't know who he was, right?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to grapple him, right? Oh my God. He fucking...
Won Black Belt Worlds like 5 times.
I know.
ACC like 4 times.
Yep. And see, my producer, he doesn't understand.
The guy's an encyclopedia where wrestling, top, guard, anywhere.
Yeah.
The first guy to play K guard. Like literally my game, he's the first guy to ever do.
Yeah, he destroyed me, right? And then I was like, God, that was rough. That was an experience. And then I just trained with him recently in Nogi. And you know, oh God. He held me in one spot for so long. And I was like,
but you do this to yourself, training gi with us.
That's okay. Well,
you could just train Nogi.
No, I want gi, and I laughed because I showed up and I was in this fucking robe. It was just so long.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna live that up.
He goes, dude, like this is not fair. He goes, you have to have the proper, gi on, so people can't just wrap you up. He goes,
if your sleeves are like over here on your hands, good luck getting out when someone plays spider or lasso. You're not circling your hand.
Yeah, and he was like, it's not fair. He goes, that's all that material. He goes, I'm gonna grab it, and you're not going anywhere, dude. Talk to me about having him in your corner and just his mindset. How like he's fucking good. Like
that guy is insane. So yesterday before my fight, I fought about 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
He came to my house at like 10 a.m. and me and him just trained for 4 hours. Wow. And the guy is so sharp and smart that every spot I'm doing, I'm like, oh, what do you think of this spot? And then he's like, you do this, I'm out. Fix this. And then every spot we did that for like 4 hours. And then I'm like, what about this scenario? He just knows every possible scenario.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an encyclopedia of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
This guy is insane. So having that brain with me, it's just insane. You know, like it's probably one of the only people that could tell me to do something and I just will not hesitate.
Yeah.
Like everyone else, even black belt world champions, they tell me to do something. I'm like, this will lead to this.
Yeah.
He says it. I'm with it.
Let's do it.
And that's what I felt like. After those 4 hours, I was so sharp.
Yep.
But then also, Cobrinha is just so good that when you train with someone that level, then when you compete right after with the person you're fighting, it kind of freaks you out because you're like, is the person gonna feel like Cobrinha just felt? And then you feel them, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is the match, like this is the opponent. Like they're all high level and great, but it's not Cobrinha.
Yeah.
So then instantly you just feel so much better.
Yeah.
So then it like, I like doing that before a match. I like messing up my perception. I always submit the match if I mess up my perception.
Yeah.
If I'm rolling with someone that's not that strong or not like just normal, I'll go into the match. I'm like, oh, this guy's strong.
Yeah.
But if I'm training with someone like Cobrinha, like another not human.
Yeah.
Like right before and telling Cobrinha, oh, make strong grips on me.
Yeah.
Do this. Then I go in. I'm like, oh, everyone feels weak. Everyone feels chill.
Well, when I grappled Cobrinha last, he had me and I was like, are these fucking hands? Like I can't break your, he locked up like this. And I was like, I literally can't break your hands. And it's funny because when I was grappling, I was like, dude, I don't think these are hands. He's so freaking good. And
well, he's 46 years old.
I know.
And he still fucks up all the adults.
I know.
Like, honestly, like that, but that level of technical knowledge, like his brain's so fast. And like, if you were just a fly on the wall watching us, like when he's like correcting things I'm doing, like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a move on, what do you think? He's like, here, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, do this. And then I'm like this. And then he's like, good. And then we just do that over, but there's a billion spots to do that. So then everything I'm doing just is a billion times better instantly.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's crazy,
I think it's just like it should be illegal for me having that guy in my corner.
No. I mean, you had Gilbert Burns in your corner too,
for sure.
And
And when I saw Gilbert, I cried. Honestly, I got really emotional. I was about to go out. Gilbert was commentating. He came up to me, and Gilbert I've known since I'm like 13 years old.
Wow.
So it's just very special. They gave me my black belt.
Yep.
So when I see Gilbert, I see myself as a little kid. And then the first UFC event ever, and he's there alongside Cobrinha with me. Like, it got very emotional. Then I just a little kid again, like green belt Mikey.
Yep.
And seeing Gilbert. So it was really special for me.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't know how damn good Gilbert is in the gi and how many times he's won
black belt worlds, beating all the best people.
Yeah, and people don't know. They only know from his days fighting in the UFC.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now that I'm in this venture of competing in the black belt, like some of the guys, when I look at who I compete against, the guy who won Worlds last year in my division, he was on the podium with Cobrinha when Cobrinha was competing. And sometimes like the fan base don't understand like how long the black belts have been competing. Like when you go against a Masters too, he's been doing black belt since he was fucking 18.
The knowledge those guys have.
And it's
They're
like
on the mat so many years.
Oh, so many years. And so people are like, oh man, you lost.
There's so much TRT in the Masters divisions that you're competing with.
I don't think so.
Really? That's the joke that they make in the IBJJF, like with the Masters divisions.
Really?
You never seen the joke of that? Like the stereotype that all the Masters are on like so much TRT.
I don't think
the comments will support what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would like to think.
I didn't say it, but the comments will say it.
I would like to think that they're all clean, but then that's me being naive and just being dumbfounded. It's like, hey.
One thing I will say though, like the arguments of everyone in the UFC is on steroids. I train with a lot of the best athletes from the UFC, and they do not feel on steroids.
Well, I mean, no, they're not.
I think they just get tested so much that they can't be on at least when I'm training with them, right?
Yeah.
But they actually feel like regular athletes. They don't feel like that steroid feeling. Like I instantly know, you know? So when I train with all these guys that are like UFC champions, and I'm like, wow, they actually feel like regular athletes. Like they feel like regular humans. Like they're not like a rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice to see that. I know that if we're in jiu-jitsu in this, that will be our path too.
Yeah.
Then, the richer people could get steroids and take steroids. That's the argument. Okay, let them spend millions of dollars to cheat the system that they still have to get off for the fight. I'm okay with that. Let them get bankrupt trying to cheat the system so they can inject needles into their butt.
Yeah. Well,
and shrink their testicles.
Well, Mikey,
I definitely think that it's hard to like watch first if you don't know jiu-jitsu. But I do think that over time people will enjoy that more and appreciate more what I'm doing. And I don't know. Maybe I'll learn some takedowns.
If I was your coach, I was in bed. I
felt like when I started the match, if I would have like wrestled a little bit, I felt like I could have actually taken him down.
Yeah.
Like that after the match, I was like, fuck, this is a match I could have wrestled a little.
Well, I always laugh.
It would have been more fun.
If I was your coach,
but I get so nervous. I just want to be winning the match. Like that's how my brain becomes.
Yeah. If I was Cobrinha, I'll be like, Mikey, the next time you drop down to a leg lock,
20 push-ups.
No, you're gonna be fucking fighting me, and it's not gonna be fun. That's what I would say. I was like, if you go down, let's say this is what I'll say. If you go down and you start, going to tear legs and all that stuff, and he falls back, and you're able to come wrestle up, and I'm like, you stay up, you pass that guard, and you do a different submission. The next time you drop on those legs, it's not gonna be good for you. That's what I'll tell you right there.
Bro, if you're just gonna start slapping me in training, then
I'm gonna do that. I'm like, Cobrinha, like, because that's what I do to my kids. Like, not my kids, but when I was coaching at a grapple club.
Remember your son armbarred me in Denver?
Yes, yeah. So
he has a win over me, your son.
That's right, baby. So one of the kids at the jiu-jitsu, he loved to do arm bars. That's all he did. Armbar. And I said, you can never do an armbar ever again. Do something else. And then his game I'm not saying your game's going to get better, but he started exploring triangle.
It sucks in training. I'm like so diverse.
So if I was in your, that's what I mean. Like when we grapple, it's like, I fall down.
I literally play more top in training than guard.
You actually do it. Yeah.
I'm more of a top player. I really am.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get to see that.
Yeah. But every match that I played top so far, even in UFC, like in December, I passed the guy's guard, made him turtle. Yeah. Yesterday, I passed the guy's guard, made him turtle.
That's when you're supposed to take his back, put the
body
triangle.
And then I'm supposed to do all that stuff, and then I just stop.
And then you go back to your back.
But that just shows a glimpse of every match. I think percentage-wise, I think of all the matches I've done in Nogi, I think I passed everyone's guard that I played top.
Yeah.
If you look at every match I've done in Nogi, I think I passed everyone's guard that I played top.
Yeah.
Well, but I just stopped from there.
Well, hopefully you can figure that out.
Yeah.
And I think you will. So, Mikey, this is your opportunity to let fans know how they support you, what you got coming up next. The floor is yours.
I hope you guys enjoyed UFC BJJ 1 yesterday. I really appreciate everyone supporting us and even hating us. You're helping us grow the sport regardless. Like Craig talking so much crap like he does, it definitely gives us more publicity. So he's helping us at the same time, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, Craig, don't come after me. I'm at peace. White flag. I'm chill.
White flags means you're giving up.
Oh, that means peace too, no? It's a peace flag.
I mean, Michael, what do you think?
It's getting up on the
I don't have beef with him. I'm not UFC. I'm an independent human.
Yeah.
I just want the best for people. If Craig has an amazing event that makes a lot of money and people can make money from him, and God bless them. Awesome. Yep. I hope that for Craig. I hope he could grow our sport, and I'm happy if he's growing our sport.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow our sport another direction. He's growing the sport another direction. And I hope both of them help grow our sport. And that's what the truth is.
Gotcha.
You know, I have no stance against enemies, none of this. And if you guys please just support both sides if you want. You know, I just want us to have a future for jiu-jitsu, and I'm doing the best I can. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Gotcha. Well, boys, there you have it. Here's our guest, Mikey Musumeci, Darth Rigatoni. Make sure you guys follow the man on his social media and everything he's got going on with the UFC BJJ 1. He's a brand new champion, the first inaugural bantamweight champion. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. Right-hand man, Michael Wansover. Mikey Musumeci. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the MIGHTYCAST. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MIGHTYCAST. And this is the part of the episode where we call the Mighty Recap, where we recap everything we just went through with our guests. And our guest was Mikey Musumeci. And dude, 2 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, caffeinated up. That man was going a million miles an hour. And I'm glad we got to the bottom of like this whole, you know, exclusive, non-exclusive, UFC BJJ. You know, for me, I like to come in the eyes of looking at it as unbiased. And I know jiu-jitsu has been around for a very, very long time. Like when we looked it up, 1998, ADCC, you know, you have CJI now, who's number one, BJJ Stars. You have so many different organizations, and none of them, a lot of them do stick around, but a lot of them seem to not have the same type of platform as UFC does. Obviously, the UFC has been around since 1993. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. It's owned by TKO. They're part of WWE. With that being said, now that the UFC is getting a part of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it feels like everybody's getting pissed off about it. Meaning that, oh, they're locking up all the athletes. And I'm like, well, the athletes don't have to sign a contract. We had an athlete on, and he was like, dude, you don't have to sign that contract, but I chose to because the money was more consistent. The money was better. And I'm glad that you stepped in to give a different viewpoint of this, because we talk about this all the time. Like, there's nowhere else for any athletes to fight, or nobody wants to watch any other organization when it comes to mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and I think the issue is this in and of itself is great. First of all, we're happy for Mikey.
Oh, 1,000%.
Just because someone that good at BJJ deserves to be a millionaire. Like, yeah. He deserves it. So I think I don't think he sold out, but if people are going to say he sold out, good for him. I'm happy. I'd rather be a sellout than underpaid any day of the week. So that first of all, but I think the what makes people have the reaction of some people don't like it is just more of TKO being behind it and seeing that they're trying to get the Ali Act removed in boxing. And you just see the Canelo Crawford stuff that UFC doesn't have a pay-per-view in September to promote this big fight. And you see Dana White is there, and did you see the big Ring Magazine title?
I did not.
Yeah, they have this Ring Magazine title, and everyone's like, oh, look how they're trying to make, there's a prestigious title, which to give credit, it is a prestigious title. And so it's not just like what with Mikey, where we just saw his title that was completely created. It has no history, right? There's the Ring Magazine actually does have a history that goes back years and years. So I get that. But for me, I do see that vantage point of people being a little worried about, like, hey, like, let's say there was some random investor, right, who did this. No one would be saying anything. They'd be like, this is awesome. Yeah. But as Mikey said, they would go bankrupt. And then
he goes, see, I fucking told you guys.
With UFC, we know that we're not just getting excited about this and then it's going to go away. It seems like
it's going to be here for a long
invested.
time.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
And here's the thing. When you have a company that's makes that much money, it could be a tax write-off for them, right? I mean, they have slap fighting, for God's sakes. How much money is slap fighting making?
If you compare it to slap fighting, this is a massive leap forward, a sport that actually deserves to be watched and competed in. And
nobody's complaining about slap fighting and having them sign exclusive contracts.
What are they exclusive from? Like, what is it preventing them from doing?
I think it's just an interesting conversation. That's why I love your viewpoint on this, because sometimes I'm too blind to see certain things, right? And I just feel, for me, when I look at it, like, there's so many guys in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu who compete and they win things and they don't have any money. They don't have anything to show for. You know, you do have the every once in a blue moon, like a Craig Jones, Gordon Ryan, Baby Shark, Mika Galvoa. But I don't know if those guys are, can they walk away from the sport? Can they be like, dude, I'm the best in the world and I made $200,000 from grappling this year. Not from, what's I'm looking for, instructionals, like from actually competing. Hopefully, UFC, BJJ, or guys in one championship, they make a lot of money. I know Rotolo Brothers, they make great money. So I agree, Chatri is probably the front runner to actually giving athletes in jiu-jitsu the opportunity to make money from grappling. And now I think you have another player coming into it with the UFC. At the end of the day, it's good, and I truly think it's up to the athletes to decide if they want to sign that exclusive or non-exclusive. And I think with Mikey, he's okay with it because all the other organizations, one championship they test, but all the organizations say they don't care about testing. They just
because testing costs a lot of money to be able to do that.
Exactly, so. Where UFC has the money to do that. It's just, I like to play devil's advocate, where it's like, we should be happy for Mikey, and I truly believe Mikey is a pioneer he feels deep down inside in his gut that he's doing the best thing for the sport of jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's in it to destroy it. I don't think he's in it to monopolize it. I think he's in it, and he's in it to make it the best sport it could be and how it should be in his viewpoint.
And even with CJI, we're of course big fans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We went to the first one and it was amazing.
It was fucking dope. It was amazing.
And I'll say that the pit is the best viewing experience I've ever seen. Yeah. In terms of, as a fan, you could see, it doesn't matter how high up you go. Yep. You could see everything because there's not this octagon where if you go to a UFC event, you really have to have the right seat.
You're looking through the cage.
But with that, it's just, there's a lot to love about it, but with CJI, the only thing is it's once a year, right?
Once a year.
And Mikey's saying they are offering him, if he wants you to compete 6 times.
6 times a year.
So that's a lot more opportunity than once a year.
If I had the opportunity, I can sign this exclusive contract and have the opportunity to compete 6 times a year, or I don't sign that contract and I'm non-exclusive, and I might get the opportunity to fight at CJI if I'm big enough, right? Or who's number one, and
you only get paid a significant money at CJI if you win.
Win. I think the first purse was $10,000, but it might get bumped up. But if you fight, at the end of the day, we don't know what the purses are going to be. But if, let's say the first year UFC BJJ is six events a year, all jiu-jitsu. Next year it goes, okay, first year was successful. Let's do 12 events. And then next thing you know, who knows? They might say, hey, we're going to do a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu show every single week before a UFC pay-per-view, right? It's like Friday night, Jiu-Jitsu, Nogi. Saturday night, UFC Fight Night. Then big pay-per-view, like International Fight Week, they just had BJJ 1. I'm dating this. Well, it's going to be next week, so edit this. Yeah. They do like this, International Fight Week. Everybody's here in Las Vegas. UFC BJJ 1. Next is the ceremonial weigh-ins. No, excuse me, the ceremonial Hall of Fame inductees. Friday, weigh-ins. Saturday, big International Fight Week. If they can do that around it, you're going to get people who are fans of UFC who are going to want to tune into that product of UFC BJJ because the brand is just so big. So I think at the end of the day, it's good for the sport. It's more eyeballs on the sport of jiu-jitsu.
No, 100%. But the counter argument of that is that they are already doing that with WWE. So it kind of becomes like, hey, here, you're TKO, yeah. And it's so, but it is what it is. I mean, they have the money to spend. And
imagine this. Imagine they put Mikey Musumeci in a wrestling match on Monday Night Raw. He comes down there with his glasses. I'm just saying, no, like he runs down there and he grabs somebody's leg, puts him in a sharpshooter. Everybody knows what a fucking sharpshooter is, right? And he's like, ah! His star power is going to go from here to here. And
I think what they will do, which is more likely, is he'll be like front row for Raw, and they'll be like, oh, here's Mikey Musumeci, watch him compete. Yes. And that has been never happened in BJJ in America whatsoever.
Look at Michael Chandler. Remember when he made that, he was on Raw, and he made a comment
like McGregor, that never happened.
It never happened, but that's the start. That's the power of the marketing machine behind the UFC and TKO is that they can truly take somebody and turn them into the star. I mean, depending on who the athlete is, but
no, and here's the thing too, they picked the right guy. Like if they were going to be like, whoever picked him, it was Hunter Campbell or whoever it was, they did great scouting to be like, this is the guy that we want to invest. This new endeavor. We want to launch this UFC BJJ. Let's get Mikey Musumeci to be the face of it. I think that whatever side you fit on this debate, they did a great job. I think and Andrew Tackett as well.
Oh, dude, he's fucking great.
So though having them both as here are our first two champions. Yeah, those were great. It's not like they just pick guys where BJJ enthusiasts are like, these guys aren't legit. Like
these guys are legit. I mean, Andrew Tackett did compete at CJI. He didn't win it, but I think he had he was probably one of the best of the tournament. And then now he's locked in the UFC. I'm excited to see what athletes, like if they can, it's always funny when we talk about sport. You want the best. Phil Davis, he's talking about the best should fight the best. Well, sometimes the best doesn't want to fight the best, right? Like I remember Charles Sutton, he was like, I don't want to fight the best guy. I want to fight the guy who sucks the most and have the biggest paycheck. But I think we live in today's age where you don't see the best fight the best. I mean, you don't see this champion fight this champion because of the exclusive contracts. But it'd be kind of cool to see if we could see the Rotolos fighting Andrew Tackett again on that rule set. Like to see those guys being a big pull just to fight. Or Levi Jones. I'm a big fan of him. I mean, I think it's an exciting time for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And obviously, Michael Wandover comes through again for you guys. A giveaway, Mikey Musumeci. He does not fight. He doesn't punch people in the face, but he is under the UFC banner now, so it's not as random having to go up. And he tears people's knees, so he's very, very dangerous.
He could tap. If that Volkanovski match, I love Volk, but I think
he would have tapped.
Yeah, that would not have been pretty.
Yeah. You guys will win these gloves signed by me and Mikey. Obviously, Michael's going to leave a description in the community page on how you guys can win it. Obviously, go to Spotify, leave a like, review, comment, get us up there, and make sure you guys leave a comment down in the comment section below on YouTube. Man, great talk with Mikey. That is it for this episode of the Mighty Recap. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson, and my right-hand man, co-host, Michael Wandover. We will see you guys at the next episode of the MIGHTYCAST.